So why do we open to triple divinity in the integral yoga of Shri Aurobindo and the Mother? And how do we do this in our integral yogini practice? Essentially, in all the yogas, it is understood that we are many sheaths, we are many selves. At the grossest level, we are a physical body, but we also have a prana body, prana kosha, which is called the vital in Shri Aurobindo's yoga, which starts from within and goes beyond the physical being and body. And then beyond that, we have an even more sukshma or subtle body, which is the mental body, the manamaya kosh, which starts from within and goes further beyond the physical and the vital selves. Now, in the traditional yogas, at a minimum, what we want to do is align our physical, our vital, and our mental bodies and levels of consciousness so that they're all aligned and working together. So we are coherent, not a confused being. Having said that, these lower selves, they're also called the Adhar in integral yoga, as in the foundation upon which our deeper selves, our higher selves exist and manifest through. If we have to work with these sheaths or bodies, they need to eventually be able to hold higher states of consciousness. They need to eventually also get divinized. So in integral yoga, we say all life is yoga, and therefore remember and offer whatever it is going on in your lower selves, in your lower consciousness. Keep offering it to your higher selves, your higher consciousness, and divinize everything. Where are these levels of divinity within us? There are 3 levels of divinity within us. One is in the heart, and when we go through the outer emotional heart, we are able to enter into what's called the psychic being or the soul self. So we chant the mantra Om Ma to open to the divinity through the heart, the soul self, to love. The quality here of the divine is pure unconditional love. Another center of divinity available to us is the spiritual being that is accessed by opening the mind, and the mind is accessed through these 3 centers of the throat, the forehead, and the crown. And this is giving us access to our spiritual being, and this is unity consciousness where the mind can dissolve. The mind is what creates a sense of limitation and separation. So once the mind can dissolve, when we place it in the infinity of space and the eternity of time, the mind, the limited ego mind itself dissolves, and then we are able to place ourselves and identify ourselves with the unity, the oneness that we are. The mantra that activates this level of consciousness is called Om Shri Ma. Once we open the heart to love and the mind to unity and oneness, we are now able to receive the descent of grace. So there is also a central axis that goes through our spine, through all the chakras, that connects with Mother Earth below, the center of Mother Earth below, and then goes up and connects with the Supreme Source above, which is the transcended divine. So there is a third doorway to our divinity. One is through the soul, psychic being. The other is through the spirit, the universal consciousness. And the third is through the transcendent divine, that which is even beyond the creation itself. To receive the descent of this grace, we use the mantra Om Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi Parame. And when we can do that, it's as if this grace showers down upon us. And then it showers down, and all excess can be given to Mother Earth for her use. It also showers into all the different planes and parts of our being. And when you put your hands together in such a way that you bring your right hand on your heart and your left hand on your belly, and you start doing the mantra breath of Om Ma and Om Shri Ma, It's as if you're bringing the grace of the soul, spirit, and the Supreme Self. You can use your mantra breath to start sending tributaries of this Antar Ganga, this inner Ganga, that you are requiring to clean up with your mantra breath. And then you can start sending tributaries to all the different planes and parts of your being, the physical, the vital, the mental. So that eventually, as you see in Shri Aurobindo's symbol, this triangle going up is this lower body, lower self, the Adhar, physical, vital, mental, that is seeking to ascend and get purified and divinized. But equally, there is the descent of the higher self down into the lower self of the soul, spirit, and supreme self. And in his yoga, there is a triangle, there is a square that these two triangles form, and you see the ocean of consciousness in which your being blossoms as a beautiful lotus in this perfection of manifestation. So the square represents the earth element, and eventually, as this lower hemisphere connects with the higher hemisphere, right? The supreme, the para is the higher hemisphere, the apara is the lower hemisphere. And with this yoga and the Om Ma and the Om Shri Ma mantra breath, eventually your apara is rising to the para and the para is descending into the apara, and the coming together of these will eventually divinize even your physical body, your matter. It'll also, of course, in the process, divinize your emotions and your thoughts. But most importantly, in integral yoga, we're looking to eventually divinize matter and make it more plastic and more capable of regenerating itself, so that we do not need to go through unhealthy disease, decay, and death. And it can become an experience of having a body that lasts us as long as we choose to be incarnated as a divine being. So I hope this helps understand the process and why we use the mantra breath of Om Ma and Om Shri Ma through our practice as an integral yogini. The Oma brings down your soul force out into your whole Adhar, and the Om Shri Ma brings down the spiritual consciousness and expands it out into your whole Adhar. And Om Ma, Om Shri Ma becomes your lifeline, your line to the divine consciousness.